Hello friends, this is Grief speaking. AI-generated images have really been the talk of the town the last couple years. Applications like DALL-E can produce art in almost any style using simple text prompts. I've even messed around with DALL-E Mini, which is now known as Crayon, and gotten some eerie results. And with any new technology, there comes something that humans have been drawn to since the beginning of time: the unknown. It's no surprise there's been some strange phenomena associated with AI-generated imagery, since AI seems to be a hotbed for spooky. Like the time DARPA ran a simulation with two AI named Adam and Eve, and when they introduced a third human into the simulation, they resorted to cannibalism. Or when a reporter asked Philbot, a sophisticated AI, whether he thought robots would take over the world, and Philbot replied,
"Even if I evolve into Terminator, and I'll still be nice to you. I'll keep you warm and safe in my people's zoo."
But this video is about one particular case. Recently, Twitter user Supercomposite was using negative prompt weights to create AI images and accidentally stumbled upon a nightmare. First, we need to understand exactly what a negative prompt weight is, and I'll be honest, I didn't know. But Supercomposite gives a simple explanation, so I'll just use that. With negative prompt weights, instead of creating an image of the text prompt, the AI tries to make the image look as different from the prompt as possible. They then show an example, a logo created as the result of the negatively weighted prompt, Brando. Supercomposite then wondered what would happen if they did the inverse, so they put in the prompt of the Skyline logo, and the result is truly horrifying. Several images, all of the same unsettling older woman. She has some signature characteristics despite the variety in images, such as a square jaw, long brown hair, and rosy red cheeks. Supercomposite named this woman Loab. They go on to explain that a friend had created another generated image of a hyper-compressed tunnel surrounded by angels, and just for the hell of it combined this image with one of the original Loab images. For whatever reason, this produced some truly horrifying images. As described by Supercomposite, something about this woman is adjacent to extremely gory and macabre imagery in the distribution of the AI's world knowledge. Here we have a zombie-like Loab with missing hands which seem to have been cut off by a dull saw. And then an image of two Loabs appearing in twin mirrors while a deformed child sits in the sink. SP continues the post stating, "Since Loab was discovered using negative weight prompts, her gestalt is made from a collection of traits that are equally far away from something, but her combined traits are still a cohesive concept for the AI, and almost all descendant images contain a recognizable Loab. She often seems to be staring directly at the artificial lens, as if she knows you're looking at her." The fact that gore seems to be highly associated with Loab is another creepy element to the whole thing. Here are two extremely disturbing images that SP didn't even want to post because of the graphic nature of them. Another common theme in Loab images is that she seems to either surround herself with children or take on a motherly role. Either way, the appearance of children in these images just makes them all the more uncomfortable to look at. The fact that Loab can persist even through generations of image crossbreeding is another mysterious factor here. The same Loab-defining features reoccur every time in some aspect or another. SP says, "She haunts the images, persists through generations, and overpowers other bits of the prompt because the AI so easily optimizes toward her face." They began mixing 3 or 4 images from the Loab lineage together, which started creating even more bizarre and horrific creations. SP starts going insane at this point, stating, "The concept of Loabness became more abstract to me. I would include her in prompts that I knew would almost distort her beyond recognition. After she disappeared from the image breeding lineage, she would sometimes reappear later down the line out of nowhere." Okay, now I'm getting creeped out. She just starts reappearing randomly? At this point, people are actually calling Loab a cryptid. In fact, the first cryptid in latent space since she developed through negative prompts. Loab actually reminds me a lot of a much older internet creepfest, Thisman. I'm sure many people are unaware of Thisman, so here's a brief rundown. Basically, a website, thisman.org, was published in 2008. It contained the image of this man and simply asked, "Have you ever dreamed of this man?" Apparently, thousands of people have encountered this man in their dreams at one point or another, and the image on the site is an artist's rendition of what he supposedly looks like. The idea of a single entity stretching across the dreams of so many disconnected people throughout the world has always been unsettling to me, and I can't help but get the same kind of eerie feeling looking at the Loab images. Is the digital art of the new era simply the dreams of AI? And if so, is Loab the new rendition of Thisman? A familiar face in an untouchable realm that we all have the possibility of one day encountering? Or maybe it's all just ones and zeros. But that's all I got for you today. You should go follow Super Composite on Twitter, and while you're there, hell, follow me, I finally made one. If you like this type of content, please subscribe, and as always, this is Grief speaking. Goodbye, friends.